There we go. We're recording.
Rad. Awesome. Okay, so we're going to try this again. It's Monday, y'all. We're going to be okay. But I do want to introduce my good friend Hillary. She's my partner in this, and we're doing this online postpartum retreat together. And it wouldn't be the same without her. So I'm going to go ahead and let Hillary introduce herself and say good morning to all of you.
Good morning. Yeah, I'm Hillary Valentine. And I own a business here on Oahu called Windward Maternal Wellness, where I help moms with really all things maternal health. My training is as an occupational therapist, but my focus is on pelvic health. And my perspective as an occupational therapist is, I look at the whole person. So I'm not just looking at what's going on with your muscles and your pelvic floor and the bones. I feel like occupational therapists are very holistic. I ask all my patients about, what is your environment like? What do you enjoy doing? What do you have to do? What is your diet like? How are you sleeping? How's your stress? How do you cope with things? So it's very holistic. And as I've gone deeper into this world of pelvic health and pelvic floor therapy, I've learned how significant our pelvic floor and our womb spaces in terms of our energy and our emotions and our mental health. It's somewhere that you think mental health and emotion, you think of your brain, but your womb and your pelvic floor space is that spiritual space. It's that space where everything starts. Everything has started. And it's a very spiritual space. And to disconnect from that and just treat it like another area of the body, I don't feel is a great approach. It needs to be, we need to honor that space and honor that relationship of any relationship I enter with a client, that they're allowing me to go to this very sacred place with them. And it's been a beautiful journey so far. And I'm so glad to be part of when I looked over, Kirsten approached me about this course and this retreat, and I looked over what she had already done. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is like something I already had in my brain. And it's just missing the pelvic floor aspect. She doesn't, you need the training and the professional training to really know this stuff and the muscles and the diagnoses and all that. And I have that as a therapist. She has the emotional and mental health aspect, which is so overlooked in so many programs. We're just like, how do we get the baby out? And then how do we take care of the baby? And it's all about baby, 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 baby. And a little scratching of the surface, a little breastfeeding, or you might have some hemorrhoids, but that's not enough. And that's not what we need. We need so much more. And Kirsten's Thrive program is simply beautiful and has wonderful content. And I'm just so happy to be part of it. So she takes you, the other part that I love is that she takes you through so many activities. Instead of just pouring the information out at you, she takes you through it and encourages you to practice, whether you're already postpartum or you're still pregnant. To be practicing these things before you may need them is solid gold. So I hope you enjoy this week. I'll be talking all day tomorrow, so I'm going to be quiet right now.
Thank you so much, Hillary. I'm just so thankful to have you on board. Thrive has been a project for me that's been going on for over 5 years now, and having the pelvic floor aspect was really something that I felt was missing for a long time. And now I really feel like it's such a complete, beautiful gift to offer moms now. So I'm so thankful that we found each other and that we're doing this together. I wanted to share a little bit about who I am. I am Kirsten Homelon. I am the one who started chipping away at creating this online resource for moms And it was really inspired by my own journey as a mother. I mean, I think all of us know that motherhood can bring out a lot of things in us, and it can inspire us in a lot of different ways. And through my struggles of postpartum depression and anxiety that I didn't know I was experiencing at the time, but that I know I had now, I realized that there was this huge gap in care for women postpartum, and no one talks about it. It's like the elephant in the room that no one wants to address, but we all know is there, and we kind of try to like, yeah, it was really hard, and laugh it off. But I started having these really honest conversations with women. And when we get down to the nitty gritty of talking about the lack of knowledge and intentionality for this period of time for caring for ourselves, a lot of things came out of that. And that inspired me in so many ways. And then the more I connected with women about it, the more I wanted to connect about women with it. So I started working under a lot of amazing holistic practitioners, and all the information in our course, they gave me permission to put in there. So I gleaned so much amazing information from naturopathic doctors, which you'll get to hear from our very own naturopathic doctor later this week. And then our beautiful pelvic floor therapist and IBCLC, who's rooted in Honolulu here, Mihoko, as well as midwives. I work with multiple midwives, nutritionists, herbalists. There's so much rich knowledge in here, and it's not all from me. It's just from this amazing community that started developing after opening up the conversation about the realities of postpartum and needing more care. So a little bit of the juicy stuff now. I'm gonna start my presentation, and I don't know if I'll be able to screen share if I'm not the host, but we'll give it a go. Let's see. Oh, nope, it's not even gonna let me screen share. Okay, sure.
You just take me off host because it's already recording, and then we can swap it when we want to stop. Do I have to do it?
I think you have to give it back to me. Give it back.
How do I do that? Let's see.
Do you click on your name?
I click on your name.
Your name.
Oh, got it. Got it. We got it. Okay, it's going. Okay, try again.
I'm letting you. It's gonna. All right. It doesn't want to let me do it, friends. All is well. I made a beautiful presentation for you all, but you won't get to see it right now. I don't want to accept that just yet. Ooh. Is she doing it? Woo! Okay. We're getting it, friends. Okay. Go. Present.
Welcome to your How to Thrive Postpartum meditation.
We don't want that. That will come later. Hopefully all of you can see me because I can't see you and I don't know if I like that. Yes, so we're going to do a little bit of housekeeping. Just going to be going over how to access all of the material that you have access to. We gifted you a lot, and if you are here and are confused about how to access everything, you're going to hear about that right now. So Hillary and I kind of introduced ourselves, but some of the topics that we're going to be going over this week are unearthing your inner mother. We're going to be going over that here in a little bit, and that's like one of my most favorite things to go over. It's really the juicy foundation to all of this information you're going to be learning this week. And then we're going to be going over a lot of pelvic floor health with Hillary. Postpartum nutrition is another aspect that I'm so passionate about. Hillary's going to be going over motherhood ergonomics, which blew my mind. You guys are going to have your mind blown. That's on Thursday. And then we're going to be talking about breastfeeding, postpartum preparation, how to prepare your home, your support community, as well as your partner. And then we'll wrap up the course on Friday, which will be so exciting. Some important things for you. You're going to want to make sure you download your postpartum workbook. All of your information has been sent to your emails, but you do have access to our whole entire online course as well. So if you use the code RETREAT in all caps as you're checking out to get the How to Thrive Postpartum course, it will give it to you at no cost. So in there, you have all the downloads for your postpartum workbook, as well as all the practices that we're going to be talking about today. So make sure you go in and access that. If you have troubles with anything, I'm available via text, email. I'm here for you. So let me know. Like I said, we're here for open communication and what's working and what's not. So also, it's really great if you can set your timer on your phone for 7 a.m. Hawaii time, bright and early, or 12 p.m. if you're Central Standard Time. I will also be sending daily emails to you, just kind of going over everything that we discussed and what to expect for the next day. In those, I also have the calendar for all of the different sessions. I know I've had a couple of you already ask if you might not be able to make a session, what do you do? Like you can tell, we're going to be recording, whether it's hard or not, we're going to record these sessions. So if you miss one, no worries. We can send it to you at the end of the retreat. We'll be sending out the whole recording of this event. Also, I sent the link into your email. There's also the link inside the course for our private Facebook group. In there, it's a really awesome community of mothers who have taken my course already or have done a retreat in the past. And it's just continuing to grow. It also has all of the people who poured into this course in there as well. So it's a great space to ask questions, find people in your local area to connect. It's really an awesome support community for you. So I hope that you will use it. Yeah, moving on. So we're going to go through unearthing your inner mother. I put this out.
Kirsten,
Yeah.
try click on, because we're all just seeing ourselves, I think.
You can't see the presentation?
No, so try click on the presentation again to make sure that
Okay. Let me see. You stop sharing.
There we go.
Is it good now?
No, now it's back to the last screen. I think it's just what layer of screen you're on. It's not transitioning, so I don't.
Hang on.
Let's try it again.
Alrighty. Sorry, friends. We're gonna get this. Window, Chrome tab. Ooh, maybe that's why. How's that? Can you see what I'm doing now?
Yeah, I think that's better. You just have to get the presentation mode.
Ooh,
yay!
How to thrive.
Yay! Y'all can see. Yay! Okay, so I went through the table of contents. Woo! And then the important things before we start, I had little pictures for you to make it easier. We're doing this. All right, so yes, unearthing your inner mother. Like I said, I have this as the start and the foundation of our course because it's really important to do some inner work, some foundational work before you just dive into all the things postpartum and serving your family. And it's also really great to come back to over and over in different seasons of your motherhood, even on just different days of the week when you have big life shifts, because we're always changing, and it's so good to come back and connect with the things that are important to you. And sometimes, which I think you will find as you do these practices, you will surprise yourself with what's most important to you. Sometimes it's not what you think it would be. And that's why doing these explorative practices are so important. And I encourage you, I know we have a lot going on, but in the workbook, there's a lot of space for you to write down your responses to these exercises. I'm going to walk you through them now, but I hope later today, while it's all fresh in your mind, that you'll start. Don't rush through them by any means and have them done by tomorrow. There's no deadline, but I do encourage you to start to work through these and really take your time and be intentional as you go through these, and even share them with your partner and your support community once you have them completed. You're going to discover yourself, and it's really important for you to share that inner self with people that you trust and who are going to be with you in this season. So I start this section with the topic of giving yourself permission, which might sound a little strange. And this is actually a new portion that I included in here because it's so hard, I think, as mothers to allow ourselves to have space to feel what we feel and to be where we are and to do things the way we do things. And so that is where this rooted from, this idea and this realization that we as women, as birthing women and women who are raising this next generation of humans, that we need to allow space to give ourselves permission. I have a really strong inner critic in my head. I have found that a lot of mothers do as well. So we have this inner pressure inside of us. And then we have all of this external pressure too coming at us. So it is a lot of really constricting, a lot of negatively based thoughts. And that can really trickle into the essence of you as a mother. And it takes away a lot of the permissions that we give ourselves to be authentically who we are as women. So I have a practice of returning to these different tools that I'm going to be giving you every month. At the end of the month, I like to just take some time to write down where I'm at, to write down all the different prompts in these practices, and start the new month fresh. And I hope that this will really bless you, because it has really created a lot of freedom for me, and a lot of other mothers who have done this as well. I love seeing mothers share them too. So if you feel comfortable sharing them on our Facebook page, if you feel comfortable texting me, I love going through this with moms. I've had moms like calling me and crying to me and just telling me how amazing it is to really get to what's important to us. Life is short, and raising humans in this season sometimes seems like an eternity, but also goes incredibly fast. So I love sharing those moments with my mamas. So the first tool is the clarity tool. You're going to be seeing these tools when you download them later today, but I'm going to kind of give you just a rundown on how to go through them. And then if you need to replay this as you're going through the tools, you're welcome to do that. Inside of the course as well, you have some videos from me that's also explaining the tools a little bit further. So if you need a refresher as you go to do it, just know that I'll be there via video. But the clarity tool is really good. It's very, very simple, but it's just going to be able to help you get clear on what matters most to you and what doesn't, all through telling stories to yourself. Here in Hawaii and in Hawaiian culture, storytelling is huge. It's used for healing. It's used for sharing stories down lineages. It's used for connecting. And I just believe in that so strongly for postpartum women, to do all those things for ourselves, and then to connect with other women. The first step in the clarity tool is telling yourself about your current reality. So whatever stage you're in, if you're currently pregnant, you can tell yourself about your reality of where you're at in your pregnancy and how it's been feeling and the things that you're excited about, nervous about, scared about, curious about as you're going into this new season of being a mother. Or if you're already a mother and you are going into a season of having more than one children, exploring and telling yourself about what you're experiencing is huge. That just brings a level of being present to where you're at, and honoring where you're at right now. And a lot of times when we write down this story to ourselves, we can see a lot of the beauty in our current reality that we don't normally see, just because we're in it and we're keeping our heads above water. But when we take time to slow down and write this beautiful story to ourselves about what really is, it is powerful. So that's really great to do, and that is step one for the clarity tool. Step two is telling yourself a story about your ideal past year. So as postpartum women, you're going through a huge life shift of introducing a brand new human being that came from your body into this world. A lot of times, I think, in our culture, postpartum and having children gets downplayed as like, oh yeah, I had a baby. And people are like, oh, great. But really, it's like we are bringing in new life that we grew from our bodies. Our bodies and our minds and our spirits and our hormones have gone through a lot. And then our family dynamic is going through a lot. Our partner is going through a lot. Our family members surrounding us and our friendships, everything shifts and changes and adapts to this beautiful new life that's coming into the world. So looking ahead and seeing what your ideal year would look like is, seems strange, but it's really going to help you to see what is important to you, and a lot of moms are like, well, I don't want to like set myself up for failure, or I don't want to, like, if this doesn't happen, I don't want to feel like it wasn't successful. And that's really, I hope that you can let go of that, because this part of this clarity tool is to help you see how beautiful your current reality is and how that can trickle into this ideal year that you're going to be writing to yourself about. And a lot of times we think like, oh, if I'm going to write an ideal year, it's going to be a lot of superficial things. But really, when we talk about our ideal year, a lot of us will realize that our ideal year has a lot to do with, being present with our families and soaking in certain elements of our lives that we may not normally, and we really want to do that. So you'll be shocked when you write about your ideal year, how rich and how deep and honestly how simple it is. Simplicity is a beautiful thing, especially as mothers. Keeping it simple is huge because it gets complicated and it gets chaotic really fast. And then at the bottom of the clarity tool, you're going to see a prompt for what action steps you think you will need to have that ideal year. So that's going to be things that you might have to peel away during this season. And peeling away is always really hard. But realizing that in order to have these elements in this year of recovering postpartum, yes, I said a year of recovering from having a baby, that it's necessary. Removing those things is powerful, just as adding in things is powerful. You might need to add in um, some more support. You might need to add in some more, self-care, or some more honest and open communication with your support community. It could be a million things, but having those action steps lined out after you see the beautiful reality that you have, the beautiful future that you have ahead of you, it's going to help you to get clear on what action steps you need to get there. So I think you probably can see how powerful that is to do periodically, and to return to this tool, because it really is beautiful. And I will post mine up. I have it in a journal that I see every day, or I'll put it up on my refrigerator. It's good to see it, and keep you centered and present. So that is the first tool. Woo! It's a lot. It's good though. It's our foundation. This tool, 7 layers deep, is the one that always makes me cry, because it's so simple. When you look at the worksheet, you might be confused because it's literally the same things over and over. But it helps us to get to the core of what is important to us. And beyond that, why whatever that is important to us. We all know that motherhood is important. But we're all also unique women with unique family dynamics, unique partners, unique stories that have led us to this journeying into motherhood. So those details for why motherhood is important to us, and what element of motherhood is the most important to us, is going to be different. So discovering that is huge. So literally 7 layers deep is like peeling back an onion. I always use that analogy, because we have this core around us. It's very protective. But as we start peeling those layers back, it's like we get to this really rich, beautiful core of what drives us as mothers. And it's going to be that thing on the hard days that's going to get you through and make you remember how important this role as being a mom is. So with the 7 layers deep, it literally is going to ask you, what is important to you? And then it's going to ask you, why is that important to you? And then you're going to write, again, why is that thing that you just listed important to you? And you're going to go back and forth and write that all the way until you get to that 7th layer. And that is like your mission statement for your life, mission statement for this season of your life. And that's what's going to be the thing that gets you through on the hard days. I encourage all my postpartum mamas, and then my clients that I serve here in Hawaii, to write that 7th layer out. Write it in your journal and have it on a Post-it note or something beautiful, and have it where you can see it, where you're going to be a lot with baby, whether it's in the nursery or if you have a spot by your bed, because looking at that and seeing that is so powerful, because you're always going to have, that core of why you're doing this. And it's going to bring such tenderness to your motherhood as you go through all the different hurdles of postpartum and recovering. So 7 layers deep is one of the most powerful things that I think we can do. And again, is so important to return to periodically, and to do over and over. I encourage you to have your partner do it as well, or whoever's going to be supporting you in this time, whoever's going to be closest to you, have them do this too. It's really great to connect over this, and see, what's the most important thing for them. And that's going to be really clarifying for relationships, and spark a lot of really great conversation. been a while since my husband and I have done this. So maybe that'll be a date night activity. You're welcome.
I'm going to chime in for a second. I love both of these activities are really teaching moms to get curious and kind of start to be their own detective, which is something I talk about all the time with my clients. Is I'm not here to fix you. I'm here to teach you to fix yourself or help yourself or be curious about yourself. And these mental activities are so great for when you hit those challenges to teach you how to be curious and open-minded and look at things more objectively rather than too emotionally. I'm not saying to disconnect from the emotion, but just like be curious without judgment and be like, try to be that detective and peel those layers back for yourself rather than expecting a medical provider to do that for you, which oftentimes they just can't do. So that's what's so beautiful about these exercises. So I'll be quiet again.
No, I love that you chimed in and said that, Hillary, because that really is something that, I'm going to tread on dangerous waters here, but I feel that has been taken from us as women with a lot of medical interventions that have trickled into giving birth. A lot of them, are valid and they're good. But we have gotten to this place where we are not so curious about ourselves anymore and with birthing. And that is a shame. And I think it has been hurting us a lot. I know that it has. So reclaiming that curiosity and that courage to explore ourselves and explore this season with more of an unobjective view is huge. We experience a lot of emotions. And we kind of just are like, we're feeling all these things. And then we're looking for someone to tell us, give us clarity for what we need to do. And like, is this okay? But really, we have all of that within ourselves if we take the time to slow down, to peel things away, and to just take a moment to recenter ourselves. All of that is within ourselves. We have the power and the ability to do that. We're created to do this. So just having this, like I said, this juicy foundation for being mothers is everything. It gives you so much power and so much liberation from feeling like you need others to tell you that you're okay or to tell you that you're doing it right or wrong or this, that, and the other. You're going to know that for yourself. And that's powerful. And other women seeing you stand in that is powerful. And that's like my big prayer for all of this, is that this will create a wave of women who are raising their children in a way that's authentic to them without shame and with confidence to explore each and every season of that. And that's why these practices are so, so, so important, because you are going to use them all the time. I promise you. And I give you permission to share them with your friends. So I just want these to be out there in all circles of women. This next one is so taboo, and I love talking about taboo things because it's uncomfortable, and I think that being uncomfortable means growth. Growth through the fire. So this is called the success loop, and I don't know if you're like me, but the word success for me makes me like, because success can mean a lot of different things, but like the super